Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Renuka Ares with the evening news. The headlines. COVID-19 vaccinations are open for those above 45 years from 1st April. Comorbidities clause removed by the Cabinet. Government appeals to register and get vaccinated. Home Ministry issues guidelines for effective control of COVID-19 from April 1st. Telangana, Chandigarh and Uttar Pradesh decide to close educational institutions to stem the spike of COVID-19. National COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 95.67%. Lok Sabha passes Finance Bill 2021. Financial proposals of central government cleared for year 2021-22. Government is committed to simplify taxation compliance procedures, says Finance Minister. Maharashtra Anti-Terrorism Squad names Sachin Waze as prime accused in Mansukh Hiren's alleged murder case. BJP criticizes state government for not handing over case to NIA. Campaigning gathers momentum for upcoming assembly elections. Filing of nominations for fourth phase of polls in West Bengal ends. Full Election Commission in Siliguri reviews poll preparedness in West Bengal and asks senior officers to follow SOPs in the polling booths in the upcoming elections. And in cricket, England were 195 for 5 in 29 overs against India when reports last came in. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all the precautions and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. The centre has opened COVID-19 vaccination for everyone aged above 45 years starting the 1st of April. Briefing media after the Cabinet meeting in New Delhi today, Union Minister Prakash Javadekar requested all eligible people to immediately register and get vaccinated.
From 1st April, anybody who is over 45 age will get vaccination even though he has no comorbidities. उसके लिए उसे अब कोई दाखिला लाने की सर्टिफिकेट लाने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Mr. Javadekar said vaccination is the shield against COVID-19. He said in the last 24 hours, more than 32 lakh vaccines were administered. He also clarified that vaccines are available in enough number and there is no scarcity.
वैक्सीन पर्याप्त मात्रा में उपलब्ध है, उसकी चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं है. और भारत को अभिमान है कि भारत के दोनों वैक्सीन बहुत अच्छे सफल है. खुद प्रधानमंत्री ने कोवैक्सीन लेकर एक तरह से उस मुहिम का शुभारंभ किया था.
Dr. Ashutosh Biswas, Professor of Internal Medicine, AIIMS, New Delhi, has said that the central government has taken a very good decision to allow everyone aged above 45 for COVID vaccination starting 1st of next month. Talking to AIR, Dr. Biswas suggested to the people to follow COVID-appropriate behavior after the vaccination.
45 years के ऊपर विदाउट कोमॉर्बिडिटीज जिनको जैसे हाइपरटेंशन, डायबिटिक और कोरोनरी आर्टरी डिजीज और एंडोक्राइन डिजीज ये सारे नहीं है, उनको भी ये वैक्सीन लेना चाहिए. गवर्नमेंट हैज टेकन ए वेरी वाइज डिसीजन टू कवर अप आल्सो मोर देन 45 years of age.
In view of the festival of Holi, the doctor suggested to people to avoid visiting crowded places and follow hand hygiene, social distancing and wear masks to check the spread of the virus.
The Union Home Ministry today issued an order containing guidelines for effective control of COVID-19. It will be effective from 1st of April and remain in force up to 30th of April. The main focus of the guidelines is to consolidate the substantial gains achieved in containing the spread of COVID-19, which was visible in the sustained decline in the number of active cases continuously for about 5 months. keeping in view a fresh surge in COVID-19 cases, which is being witnessed in some parts of the country. The guidelines mandate the state and union territories government to strictly enforce the test, track, treat protocol and ensure observance of COVID-appropriate behavior by everyone, and to scale up the vaccination drive to cover all the target groups. It is also emphasized that in order to ensure the resumption of activities is successful and to fully overcome the pandemic, there is need to strictly follow the prescribed containment strategy and strictly observe the guidelines and standard operating procedures issued by the Home Ministry, Health Ministry, other ministries, departments of the central government and state government. Telangana, Chandigarh and Uttar Pradesh decide to close educational institutions to stem the spike of COVID-19. In the Union Territory of Chandigarh, schools and colleges have been closed from today till March 31st. Telangana State Government today announced temporary closure of all educational institutions from tomorrow onwards in view of the increasing COVID-19 cases in the state and also in neighbouring states like Maharashtra. Uttar Pradesh government also called all the educational institutes to stem the pandemic.
The Union Cabinet was apprised on the progress under National Health Mission NHM during financial year 2019-20, including accelerated decline in maternal mortality ratio, infant mortality rate, under 5 mortality rate and total fertility rate. It also noted the progress in respect of various diseases programs like malaria, Kala Azar, dengue, tuberculosis, leprosy, viral hepatitis, among others. A total number of 40,715 new COVID cases have been reported in the country in the last 24 hours, taking the cumulative positive cases to over 1 crore 16 lakh. The Health Ministry said 199 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, taking the toll to over 1,60,000 across the country. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is over 3,45,000, which comprises only 2.96% of the total positive cases. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate is at 95.67%, with a total recovery of more than 29,000 patients in the last 24 hours. The ministry said over 1 crore 11 lakh patients have already recovered from the disease. The ministry added that over 4 crore 84 lakh doses of COVID vaccine have been administered to the beneficiaries in the country so far. The Union Health Ministry said more than 32 lakh 53,000 doses were given to beneficiaries in the last 24 hours.
The Maharashtra Anti-Terrorism Squad has said that Sachin Vaze is prime accused in Mansukh Hiren's alleged murder case. He is responsible for destruction of crucial evidence like SIM cards and mobile phone, besides CCTV footage of his residence, office, certain godowns and business establishments. Addressing a press conference in Mumbai this afternoon, Chief of Maharashtra ATS, Mr. Jaijit Singh said it will try to gain the custody of suspended police officer Sachin Vaze to question him about his role in Mansukh Hiren's alleged murder case. Mr. Singh confirmed that evidence collected so far suggests that Vinayak Shinde, who was out on parole, had called Mansukh for a meeting where he was killed. The ATS further said bookie Naresh Gore had purchased 14 SIM cards from Gujarat, some of which were used in the crime. In the meantime, Union Minister and senior BJP leader Ravi Shankar Prasad today criticized the Maharashtra government and said Uddhav Thackeray-led government has lost its moral authority to govern. Briefing reporters in New Delhi, Mr. Prasad questioned the defense of Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh in the alleged extortion case by NCP chief Sharad Pawar. Mr. Prasad said it was the first time in the country's history that a former police commissioner levelled a charge against a home minister.
The nation pays tributes to freedom fighters Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev on their martyrdom day today. On this day in 1931, British rulers had executed them in Lahore for their revolutionary activities against the empire. They were hanged a day before the scheduled date of execution. On the occasion of Shaheed Divas today, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu paid tributes to the fearless freedom fighters Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev on their martyrdom day today. In a series of tweets, he said their indomitable courage and love for the motherland inspired many to join the freedom movement. Minister of Information and Broadcasting Prakash Javadekar also paid tributes to Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru. In a tweet, the minister said they gladly sacrificed their lives for the freedom of the country. Odisha today is celebrating 100th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi's first ever visit to the state. On the occasion, Union Minister Sanjay Dhotre today digitally released a commemorative postage stamp on 100 years of the first visit of Gandhiji to Odisha. A public function had been organized for the purpose in the historic city of Cuttack.
The first day cover of the commemorative postage stamp released today portrays Swaraj Ashram at Cuttack, where Mahatma Gandhi had stayed during his first visit to the state on 23rd March 1921. Odisha Assembly today paid rich tribute to the father of the nation while commemorating the centenary of his first ever visit to the state. The House today also passed a resolution on the inclusion of the word Ahimsa in the preamble of the Constitution of India, stating that it would be the greatest tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. The state government had earlier decided to celebrate the event round the year. Meanwhile, the Regional Outreach Bureau Bhubaneswar has organized a 5-day-long photo exhibition beginning today at Telenga Penta in the Cuttack district of Odisha to commemorate Gandhiji's first ever visit to the state as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Now here is a review of proceedings in the Parliament today. First from the Lok Sabha. Writer is Achinta Bora of the PTI. The Finance Bill 2021 was passed by the Lok Sabha today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced that the tax-free investment limit in the Provident Fund has been raised to 5 lakh rupees per annum in cases when no contribution is made by employers in the retirement fund. The announcement was made by Sitharaman while replying to the debate on the Finance Bill 2021 in the Lok Sabha. The Finance Bill, which gives effect to tax proposals for 2021-22, was approved by voice vote. The Finance Minister also said that rationalization of customs duty structure will be undertaken to help domestic businesses, especially the MSME segment. On taxes, she stressed on the need for widening tax base. Earlier, opposition members said high prices of petrol, diesel and LPG are hurting the common man across the country and asked the government to reduce them. Participating in the debate, Supriya Sule of NCP said excise component in the prices of petrol is close to 38 rupees per litre, while state value-added tax VAT is about 19 rupees per litre in Delhi. She urged the government to bring down prices of petrol, diesel and LPG cylinder. BJP member Ritesh Pandey also raised the issue of high prices of petrol and diesel. Namanageshwar Rao of the TRS2 demanded that petrol and diesel prices be reduced. He urged the government to consider lowering the import duty on cotton. Participating in the debate, Congress member Amar Singh alleged that economic inequality in the society has been increasing under the NDA government, a charge refuted by the BJP member Rajendra Agrawal, who said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been sincerely working for the welfare of the poor. Mr. Singh charged the government with giving tax relief only to the rich, whereas the common people have been suffering because of the price rise of essential commodities and petroleum products. He claimed that allocation to the health and agriculture sectors has been reduced. Mr. Rajendra Agrawal said the BJP-led government has been working relentlessly for the welfare of the poor, deprived, backward and women. He said the 3 agricultural acts enacted last year have been beneficial for farmers and many peasants have already benefited from them. Pinaka Mishra of Biju Janata Dal said the bill is being passed under trying times and just in the 4th time that the economy has contracted by 7.7%. Shiv Sena member Rahul Shevale raised the issue of taxing the senior citizens and asked for a special policy for them. TDP member K. Ram Mohan Naidu opposed the proposed disinvestment of the Visakhapatnam steel plant and said people of Andhra Pradesh are against it. Supporting the finance bill, independent member from Maharashtra Navneet Rana said that it will create long-term infrastructure in the country. Congress leader Ravneet Singh Bittu asked the government to announce a mega development scheme named after freedom fighters Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru. Raising the issue, Bittu said even after 7 decades of India's independence, there has not been a single scheme in the honour of the 3 martyrs who were hanged by the British on this day. March 23rd is observed as Shaheed Divas to pay tribute to the 3 who were hanged for killing British police officer J.P. Saunders. The discussion was continuing on the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development Bill 2021 at the time of writing of the script.
And now a review of proceedings in the Rajya Sabha. Writer is Rajesh Ahuja of UNI. Proceedings in the Rajya Sabha today began with Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu making a reference to the 90th anniversary of martyrdom of freedom fighters Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev. Mr. Naidu said Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru trio have become household names for valour and patriotism. The ideas given by them will continue to inspire us in days to come. Members stood in silence as a mark of respect to the freedom fighters. During the zero hour, Dr. Ami Yagnik of the Congress raised the issue of unscientific disposal of biomedical waste generated by COVID-19 and called for immediate implementation of the scientific disposal of biomedical waste. Chairman Venkaiah Naidu said the government should pay attention to the issue and come out with guidelines on it. Majibullah Khan of the BJD raised the issue of implementation of PM 15-point programs in Odisha, while Shwet Malik of the BJP underlined the need for restoration of a temple in Punjab. Dr. L. Hanumantaya of Congress objected to the implementation of Prevention of Antisocial Act, PASA Act, in the Union Territory of Lakshadweep. M. Thambi Durai of AIADMK urged the government to vote in favour of UNHRC resolution against Sri Lanka with regard to atrocities on Tamils. Jaya Bachchan of the Samajwadi Party, Amar Patnaik of BJD, KTS Tulsi of the Congress and Prasanna Acharya of BJD also raised the matter of public importance. During zero hour, members raised special mentions on various issues. Bhaskar Rao of BJD, Sanjay Singh of Aam Aadmi Party, Chaya Verma of the Congress, Kirori Lal Meena of BJP, Vijaypal Singh and Rakesh Sinha both of the BJP, Manoj Jha of the RJD, Charna Das Vaidya of the CPIM and Rajiv Satav of the Congress. Even as the members were raising special mentions, Sushil Kumar Modi of the BJP said he has moved a motion for removal of Amit Deshmukh as Maharashtra Home Minister. This was disallowed by Chairman Venkaiah Naidu. The House witnessed noisy scenes for a brief on the issue. During the question hour, Minister of State for Finance Anurag Thakur, responding to queries from members, said that various measures were taken by the government over the last year to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. Health Minister Harshvardhan said there is no shortage of vaccines. He further said the central and state governments are closely coordinating to monitor the pace of vaccinations. Mr. Anurag Thakur moved the Appropriation Bill 2021, Budget of Union Territory of Puducherry 2021-22, the Kashmir Appropriation Bill 2021 and the Jammu and Kashmir Appropriation Number 2 Bill 2021 and the Puducherry Appropriation Vote on Account Bill 2021 for consideration of the House. Initiating discussion on the bills, Shakti Singh Gohil of the Congress said the government budget figures show that there is a revenue deficit of 11 lakh crore rupees. Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP said that the NDA government has taken many steps to take democracy to the grassroots level in Jammu and Kashmir. M. Thambi Durai of the AIADMK, V. Vijay Sai Reddy of the YSR Congress Party, Ram Gopal Yadav of Samajwadi Party, Manoj Kumar Jha of the RJD, K. Ravindra Kumar of the TDP, Ashok Bajpai and Shwet Malik, both of the BJP, Syed Nasir Hussain of the Congress and Narayan Das Gupta of the Aam Aadmi Party also took part in the discussion. Responding to the debate, Minister of State for Finance Anurag Thakur said the policies of the previous governments encouraged terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. Thereafter, the Deputy Chairman Harivansh called Minister of State for Home G. Krishan Reddy for moving the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill 2021 for consideration. Immediately, opposition members, including the Aam Aadmi Party, were up on their seats, protesting the bill and describing the bill as unconstitutional. Leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, termed it as a dangerous bill. The bill seeks to make the Lieutenant Governor as the government. This is an infringement on powers of the elected state government, he said. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said it has been decided that the Rajya Sabha will meet at 10 a.m. tomorrow to discuss the finance bill, and the House will take up the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill 2021 for consideration. The House witnessed 3 adjournments, finally adjourning for the day. And that is all in Parliament Review.
The poll preparation gathered momentum in the poll-bound states and union territories, as filing of nominations for the 4th phase of assembly elections in West Bengal ended today. Star campaigners of various political parties have been attending rallies across the districts, while new candidates are emphasizing on establishing public relations. Addressing a rally at Gosaba in South 24 Paraganas, Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah said that if the BJP comes to power in West Bengal, the Sundarbans Delta region would be declared as a separate district. Trinamool Congress Supremo Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, addressed 3 political rallies today in Purulia district. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has instructed to impose COVID norms strictly in the polling booths during the upcoming assembly election of the state. The full bench of the ECI, led by Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora, along with Deputy Election Commissioner Sudeep Jain, had arrived in Siliguri today, where they reviewed the poll preparedness ahead of the assembly polls to be held from 27th of this month. In a virtual meeting with all district magistrates and police supers of the state in presence of 4 special observers appointed by Commission, the ECI instructed to ensure maintaining social distancing, wearing masks, using of sanitizers in the polling booths. In Kerala, as just 14 days are left for the assembly elections, campaigning by 3 principal coalitions are in full swing.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah will reach Kochi today as part of the NDA's election campaign. Tomorrow he will take part in the roadshow at Tripunithura and later will attend the public gatherings at Kandirapalli in Kottayam and Puttingal in Kollam. After attending the roadshow in Palakkad, he will leave for Coimbatore. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to reach the state in coming days as part of NDA's election campaign. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi participated in election campaign of UDF in Kottayam and Ernakulam districts today. Meanwhile, postal voting for those part of the essential service sectors will be held from 28th to 30th of this month. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
In Tamil Nadu, campaigning for the 234 assembly seats is gaining momentum in the state. Over 4,100 candidates are in the fray for the 16th assembly election as per the latest data issued by the Chief Electoral Office. In the poll-bound states, the final scenario of electoral contest has become clear after withdrawal of candidature in respect of the 3rd phase of assembly elections in Assam and West Bengal, and also for the single-phase elections in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, as well as in the Union Territory of Puducherry. In Assam, 47 assembly constituencies will go to polls on 27th of March during the first phase, while polling will be held in 30 assembly constituencies of West Bengal in this phase. The second phase of polling in these 2 states will be conducted on 1st of April in 39 assembly constituencies of Assam and 30 assembly constituencies of West Bengal.
Key indices of the domestic stock markets posted solid gains in a choppy trade today, while the rupee weakened slightly against the US dollar. In the international markets, crude oil prices declined over 3%. A report from the Business World.
Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange rose 280 points or 0.6% to close at 50,051. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange advanced 78 points or 0.5% to 14,815. Global crude oil prices fell over 3% on concerns, so Brent crude futures slumped $2.20 to $62.42 a barrel. Back home, gold rose 116 rupees to 44,374 rupees per 10 grams at Delhi's bullion market on firm global cues, but silver declined 117 rupees to 65,299 rupees per kilo. Lalema Aneja Dank for AIR News.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Shambhu Samrat Samajdar, School of Tropical Medicine, Kolkata, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1-800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444. and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates. In cricket, chasing the victory target of 318 runs set by India, England were 224 for 6 in 35 overs in the first ODI match of the three-match series in Pune when reports last came in. Team India scored 317 runs for 5 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs. Opening batsman Shikhar Dhawan missed out on 100 as he was dismissed by Ben Stokes for 98. Skipper Virat Kohli scored 56 runs. Making his debut today, Krunal Pandya scored 58 runs not out of just 31 balls. KL Rahul scored 62 runs not out of 43 balls. For the visitors, Ben Stokes claimed 3 wickets while Mark Wood bagged 2 wickets. Earlier, England had won the toss and elected to field. India have rested Rishabh Pant with KL Rahul taking the wicketkeeper role.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi, Mumbai and Chennai are likely to have partly cloudy sky. In Delhi, the temperature will hover between 20 and 31 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, the minimum temperature will be 22 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 35 degrees. In Chennai, the temperature will vary between 24 and 34 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky. The city will observe minimum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 37 degrees. Srinagar is likely to have thunderstorm with rain. Temperature will hover between 5 and 12 degrees Celsius. Jammu will also have thunderstorm with rain. The minimum temperature will be 13 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 23 degrees. Leh will witness partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature will be around -2 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 10 degrees. Gilgit is expected to receive rain or snow. The temperature will hover between 6 and 18 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have thunderstorm with rain. The minimum temperature will be 8 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 15 degrees. Dehradun is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The minimum temperature will be 13 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 26 degrees. Chandigarh will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The temperature is likely to hover between 17 and 30 degrees Celsius. Hyderabad is expected to have partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 36 degrees. Ahmedabad will have clear sky. The minimum temperature will be 23 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 38 degrees. Patna will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will move between 20 and 38 degrees. And Guwahati will have partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature will be around 19 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 34 degrees.
Some more news. As part of Mission Sagar, 4 Indian naval ship Jalashwa arrived at Port Ehwala, Madagascar yesterday to deliver a consignment of 1,000 metric tons of rice and 1 lakh hydroxychloroquine tablets in response to an appeal made by Madagascar for assistance to deal with natural calamities. An official ceremony for handing over the aid from the Government of India to the Government of Madagascar was held today. The ceremony was attended by Prime Minister of Madagascar, Christian Tse, while the Indian side was represented by Mr. Abhay Kumar, Ambassador of India to Madagascar, and Captain Pankaj Chauhan, Commanding Officer, INS Jalashwa. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. COVID-19 vaccination to open for those above 45 years from 1st April. Comorbidities clause removed by the Cabinet. Government appeals to register and get vaccinated. Home Ministry issues guidelines for effective control of COVID-19 from April 1st. Telangana, Chandigarh, Uttar Pradesh decide to close educational institutions to stem the spike of COVID-19. National COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 95.67%. Lok Sabha passes Finance Bill 2021. Financial proposals of central government cleared for year 2021-22. Government is committed to simplify taxation compliance procedures, says Finance Minister. Maharashtra Anti-Terrorism Squad names Sachin Vaze as prime accused in Mansukh Hiren's alleged murder case. BJP criticizes state government for not handing over case to NIA. Campaigning gathers momentum for upcoming assembly elections. Filing of nominations for 4th phase of polls in West Bengal ends. Full Election Commission in Siliguri reviews poll preparedness in West Bengal and asks senior officers to follow SOPs in polling booths in upcoming elections. And in cricket, England were 230 for 6 in 35.4 overs against India in first ODI in Pune when reports last came in. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.